So, board members, I'm going to talk with you a little bit about our district goals. You last heard from me in February when I provided a mid-year update, and I promised that I would be back at the end of the school year to let you know where we have landed with our work. And it's been a really exciting year. Just for audience members, our Board of Education established with assistance from community members and staff members and administrative team and strategic planning goals, 3 key goals that are intended to really guide our district work over the next several years. And so you'll see those strategic planning goals come up again. What we then have done has been to determine very specific annual district goals that feed back into those strategic planning goals, with the aim that the district goals will vary a little bit year to year depending on what different pieces get accomplished and which strands of the strategic planning goals begin to be completed. So if we start with just a reminder of goal number 1, really when I summarize this, goal number 1 to me is the student achievement goal, and this is that our district will create an innovative and rigorous educational experience in a borderless learning community that produces creative students who are problem solvers and self-directed individuals. Here's what we've done this year. From a curriculum perspective, language arts teachers at the middle school, a select group have been piloting reading writing workshop in grades 6, 7, and 8 at both Central and Brooklawn middle schools, and then new curriculum will be written this summer with full implementation with all language arts teachers at both middle schools in September. And that is really exciting. It provides much more novel choice for students, stronger writing instruction for students, and what I feel most passionate about is a much different pacing of novels. Some of us may remember when we were in middle and high school, you lingered in a novel for quite a while, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. Under a reading writing workshop model, you're really moving through text much more quickly. Sometimes it's 2 weeks or 3 or 4 weeks, and then you're on to your next book. And that really mimics, to me, what we want our students to be able to do. We need proficient readers. We need readers with stamina. They'll be better high school students, and they'll be better college students as a result of that. In world languages, we planned to implement a full year of world language study in grade 6. Currently, students in 6th grade take half a year of a language, and then the other half of the year is a different elective of their choice. And then full year language study begins in grade 7 and grade 8. And in talking with the world language teachers and talking with our administrative team, we just felt that was a missed opportunity, that students are coming into middle school, and 6th grade is the perfect time to really begin world language study every day, all year long. That will be in place for September. Curriculum was beginning to be fleshed out during department meetings. It'll be finalized this summer. Both Dr. Betts and Mr. Gray ran the schedule and were able to, they were a little nervous knowing what's happened in the past, but they've been able to work a schedule where all 6th grade students are getting a language. And if they're taking band or chorus for a full year, that becomes their elective, but then we also offer other elective choices for both 6th and 7th and 8th graders as well. In mathematics, we've implemented a software program called Reflex Math, which is really kind of a math tutorial or a fast fact math fluency program that our elementary school students are able to use. They're also able to use it at home and in fact can still log into it over the summer to continue their skill work. I've seen on numerous occasions when I've been walking through the elementary school, teachers using Reflex Math as a station. So the teacher may be working with one group of students in small group instruction at the reading table, and then other students are doing different kinds of enrichment work, including the Reflex Math work. Also, very exciting, we are beginning an advanced math class in grade 5 in September. It's aimed, right now, the highest math that students will finish middle school with is Algebra 1. We see many middle schools that go a little bit further than that, and there are middle schoolers who will either achieve Algebra 1 at the end of 8th grade or may even get to geometry, or some schools use Algebra 2 as the next class after algebra instead of geometry. We don't do that right now. But what I know about our students at the elementary and middle school level is we have students who are ready and capable for that level of math instruction. So what we're going to do is start it with grade 5 and build it a year at a time. So beginning in September, we set aside very stringent criteria, invited a group of students to be further assessed for an advanced Math 5 class. Essentially, those students in that advanced 5 math class in each elementary school will do half a year of 5th grade math, a full year of 5th grade math in half a year, and a full year of 6th grade math in the other half of the year. So they're moving through 2 grade levels within 1 year. It's much more quickly paced, highly rigorous, small group of students that we're really aiming at that for. As 6th graders, those students will be taking a regular 7th grade math class, which really is pre-algebra. As 7th graders, they'll be taking algebra. As 8th graders, and this is where we're still in conversation, they'll be taking either geometry or algebra 2. We want to talk further with the high school about what they feel would be most appropriate. Right now it's aimed at a very select group of students. We want to be successful with it and do it in a very smart way, but that begins with advanced 5 math for a core group of kids at each elementary school in September. And then finally, we're super excited about our strings program. We have 124 third grade students who signed up to take strings instruction. 108 violins, 7 violas, and 9 cellos. We have a teacher hired, and I will be working with her over the summer to both outline curriculum and to work with the elementary principals about designing her schedule so that she is in each of our 10 elementary schools for half a day to deliver instruction to those musicians. New courses at both of our high schools, and Dr. Mulrooney touched on this a little bit. You've seen this before. We presented this in January and February, and this is really exciting. Some of these were student preferences. I attended last year at the Hills. There were students giving a presentation that they really wanted to see an American Sign Language class. And so it took me a while to do some research on how to make that happen, but we're offering American Sign Language as a semester elective. It does not count right now toward world language requirements for graduation, but we have had a good deal of student interest in that. And then we also had students request the nutrition for an active lifestyle. Originally that was called sports nutrition, but we changed it so that it was really more about, eating well, whether you're an athlete or not. Still working with our goal on student achievement. We are running online courses starting in September. Super exciting. We have 16 students registered right now at both high schools. Dr. Axelrod is serving as our site coordinator for the program for this coming year. Some of the courses students have enrolled in include AP Psych, 7 students in total. They're taking German, they're taking Russian, Latin. Ms. Kogan's daughter is signed up for pre-veterinary medicine, which I need to go back and just ask her how that's going. Sustainable engineering, and more. This is a really neat opportunity for us, particularly even though we're a large district, our high schools are smallish, and we can't offer everything that students want to take. And this sort of an online program allows us to do that. It allows us to really meet students' curiosity and desire to take lots of really interesting classes without trying to make sure that we have 12 kids to be able to run a class and a curriculum and a teacher certified in those areas. We this year implemented what we call a semi-departmentalization of our grade 5 classes. So anybody who has a 5th grader or an upper elementary school student will know that those students are not with one teacher all day long anymore. They're moving classes, and one teacher may be teaching them language arts and social studies, and another teacher may be their math science teacher. Not only is that smart for our teachers because there's a lot of content to be planning for by the time you're in 4th and 5th grade, but for our 5th grade students who are getting ready to be middle schoolers, it lets them, as Dr. Mulrooney said, in a very safe, controlled way, lets them practice moving classes, carrying their supplies from one place to the next, remembering that now they have not more than one teacher that they should be listening to and be respectful of, and minding what the homework policies are. And that's been really successful this year. The teachers have liked it very much, and the principals really worked with the teachers and fixed small things along the way, like how do we move quietly through the halls so that you can get from one place to another. And then we've been working on increased STEM opportunities. We have new elementary science units being implemented, and that's in phases so that we're not overwhelming teachers with new units. The advanced grade 5 math class I noted. We have new middle school electives in STEM and technology instruction. Additionally, because we're offering a full year of world language in grade 6, that meant that a lot of students would not be taking some of the technology electives that they might normally have been taking. That freed up some teaching time. So rather than reduce teaching staff, I talked with those teachers and said, what I'd like to do is take the free period that likely is going to come up in their day throughout one of the marking periods and use them as tech coaches in their building. And so each of the technology teachers at Brooklawn and Central have at least one class each marking period where they're not teaching something that they normally would have been teaching. And they're very excited. They've been working through their department meetings to design surveys for the teachers so they can begin to understand what the teachers would like help with. And they're going to begin to advertise where they're free so that they can be sort of an on-the-spot helper when teachers need it. I think this is a good way to really support teachers as they're working to integrate technology a little bit more. Most of us feel a little bit more confident when we've got a more proficient buddy with us in the room, and that's what these technology teachers can do for us. And then Ms. Villanova, our high school science supervisor, is working with Dr. Axelrod to explore a special STEM pathway. This would provide a special endorsement with a graduating senior's high school diploma. And we're anxious to be able to come back to you next fall and talk a little bit more with you and with our teaching and learning committee about that. We talked about elective offerings at the middle school. We've been really keen on looking into a dual enrollment program with NJIT and with the County College of Morris. A number of things have gotten in the way, and that will not be in place for September, but I am not letting go of this, and I do want to pursue this even further. So stay tuned. I'm going to come back for that. And then finally, we'll be implementing PSAT administration for all of our sophomores. It'll be a test of record for our sophomore students. There are a number of high schools in the area that have been doing this for years. Some of the benefits for this include national merit scholarships are available to junior students who perform well on the PSAT. But if the first time you're taking the PSAT is as a junior, you're not really well versed with the test. But if you take it as a sophomore, and then you take it as a junior, the chances of you doing well and being eligible for scholarships really is elevated, and so we think that's important for our students. It's excellent practice for the SAT. The PSAT is very similar in skills, and it's a slightly easier test. So for a sophomore to sit for the PSAT during school time, paid for by the district, gives them an opportunity to know what they will expect as they take the SAT. And most of our students take the SAT as juniors for the first time anyway, so it makes sense for that PSAT to be happening the year before. And finally, it's a really great conversation starter between counselors and students during their sophomore year as test scores are coming back so that students can have a sense of their college readiness skills and how they're faring. Goal number 2 speaks to social and emotional learning. I'll read the whole thing because it's got really powerful words in here. All students will receive social and emotional support to become adaptable, confident citizens who embody self-awareness and strong interpersonal skills, capable of responsible decision-making and managing their emotions and behaviors. At the elementary level, we've made very good progress here. All of the elementary schools had 2 teachers volunteer to pilot a Sanford Harmony program. This is a free social emotional learning program. And the teachers who've been piloting have loved it. They've used faculty meeting time to share out with their colleagues how it's working. We have the kits on site and already in the hands of our elementary teachers so that this can be rolled out fully in September. We have training already established during our in-service time in the fall so that teachers can begin this work. So kindergarten through 5th grade, this will be fully implemented throughout the course of the school year. Many principals established their own professional goals related to mindfulness and social emotional learning. We saw some schools take on a 30-day kindness challenge. Some of our principals included students on their school climate teams. The principals have been using Google Classroom to share articles on mindfulness. The school climate teams have really been deciding as a school what mindfulness events and what activities they want to be promoting. I've seen our phys ed teachers beautifully use yoga and relaxation techniques, because there's nothing like picking up your kindergarten students after gym class and bringing them back for lessons, or taking them from recess back into the school. And many of the cultural arts assembly programs have been connected to character ed and mindfulness. As we work further with this, one of the things I've been talking with the principals on is, yes, the mindfulness piece matters a great deal, and part of the work that Mr. DeSanto will be doing next year as Director of Health and Phys Ed, and mindfulness in parentheses, is really furthering this as a district, and it puts a district position in charge of this. But I also know through research that one of the ways that we help students to feel capable and worthy and confident is to help them have leadership opportunities within the school. And I don't think this is a high school only thing or a middle school only thing. Board members know that when we've had opportunities to interview for elementary principal positions last year, we included students in a touring capacity. So students toured principal candidates around their elementary school and had a chance to interact with candidates and then debrief back with me about what they thought of these folks. These kids are completely capable of this, and we just need to guide them and model it appropriately. I was really excited to see Mr. Figurelli at Lake Hiawatha School be the first principal to include 3rd and 4th and 5th grade students on his school climate team. And they take it very seriously. They are prepared to report. They survey students. They come back, and he's coached them into making it a real problem solving and not just a gripe session. When they brought up a number of complaints about cafeteria food, he invited the cafeteria supervisor in to talk with students and really hear what it was they wanted in their school cafeteria. I think the more that we can do that, provide our students with authentic, relevant leadership opportunities, I think that's another way that we make kids feel confident that their work matters, that their time here in school matters. And those skills translate into life skills that we all know are sorely needed in workplace and in family situations and in college settings as well. We had an amazing crosstown leadership retreat in February. Dr. Mulrooney organized this with a number of students helping him out and some supervisory assistants. This was really broadly student-led, and it was really, really neat to see. We've got elementary classrooms making use of brain breaks. We have a redesigned freshman orientation at the high school, which really was aimed more at small group sessions, and it was as a response to recognizing, as we lived through a year of a particular freshman class, what was really necessary to be able to support them in having a successful first year at the high school. And then we had a really neat book study opportunity for parents. ESL teachers hosted open houses and tutorials for parents, and then several of our elementary counselors hosted a session, hugely attended, more than 80 parents during the day at the PAL building on bullying and conflict just this past spring. So we're looking to really expand that and to continue to not forget about parents as we're working with our students and our teachers on mindfulness. Goal number 3 speaks to really the adult learners in our community. Our community of adult learners will be fully engaged in professional growth experiences, which enable them to continuously hone their craft and maximize student achievement. Board members know I share regularly whenever we have in-service days, we really work to have a menu of opportunities so there's a good deal of choice. I don't think that all teachers need the same thing as far as professional development, and we've really tried to be respectful of having teachers decide where their time is best spent on in-service days. Our new staff academy classes have been differentiated by subject and grade span. We've had some things that have focused specifically on special education and inclusion, others that have focused on assessment, some that have been about classroom management, and teachers have been able to choose the sessions that really speak best to them. We were able to get a professional development committee up and running by late winter this year, and we have teacher representation from every school. The aim is that those teachers are going back to their home schools, talking with their peers about what they feel is needed at their grade level, at their school for professional development, and bringing those conversations back to the committee so that we can do planning there. And we work really hard to make sure that professional development is connected back to district goals and strategic planning. I think it really needs to be a full circle. We really embrace and build teacher leadership. In each of our in-service days, we offer some sessions on teacher leadership and building a career path for those teachers who envision a life beyond the classroom. We've included educators on interview committees for all district leadership positions, which is a really neat experience. We have 2 teachers that applied and were accepted to the administrative internship program for this coming school year. And then we're also exploring, the state has a new teacher leader program that's just beginning, and we're going to really keep a close eye on that. And because we rarely leap on anything that the state offers the first year out, but we're going to watch it and then decide if the following year this is something that's really meaningful and well organized for us. We've managed to move ourselves beyond Parsippany. We take buses to the Saturday reunion at Teachers College each fall and each spring. That's a free opportunity for our teachers to engage with the amazing experts at Lucy Calkins Reading and Writing Institute. The board was supportive of our new partnership with the Morris Union Jointure Commission, which really has given, especially at the special education arena, really rich conversations with other school districts, and provided our child study team members and our teachers with very rich professional development. It's kind of given us a go-to area in a section of education that it's been a little bit hard to find really important and meaningful trainings. And then we've had teachers also attend the Paramus Institute and the Teachers College Summer Institute, and we have more teachers again attending both of those this summer. Finally, I've been super excited about a new committee we started just this past April. This is the Primary Learning Committee. It is aimed at preschool and kindergarten teachers. We did open it up to the community, but right now it's just got our own Parsippany Troy Hills folks on it. It's not a required committee, but there is overwhelming attendance from our primary grade teachers. And our aim is really a few things. We're really exploring the unique learning needs of our youngest students, specifically looking at things like unstructured playtime, because what we know through the research is that that matters a great deal. We've become a society that structures our children a lot. And to be able to give them downtime, to be able to give them time to explore so that they can build language, so they can build problem solving, so they can build some emotional scaffolds, they can do that during school time, and there is time in the day for it. We're looking at using more big books for story time, really looking at developmentally appropriate practices for our primary learners. An outcome of this is that we're aiming for a new preschool curriculum for September of next school year. So this has been really exciting to delve into the research and talk with these teachers who are very passionate about the work that they do and care deeply for the children, and really looking at what should be working in preschool and what should kindergarten be looking like, because kindergarten should not look like second grade. 5-year-olds are not 7- and 8-year-olds, and so I've had a lot of fun, especially with this group. Future steps for us. So with the completion of this year's district goals, then we take our successes and we build upon them. So some of this work, you've heard me say, we've started, there's more continuing, or we didn't get as far as we wanted. Next year we're gonna, pull up our sleeves and get back to it. And then some areas we've really been very successful, and now we need to think, what does the next step look like? What does the deeper version of this look like? Some of that will be through conversations that we have with our administrative leadership team through our retreat in August. I'd like to make use of our professional development committee and electronically gather ideas from them about the next areas that we need to be working on. When we have our Board of Education retreat, there'll be an opportunity for board members to weigh in and help us think through where we're aiming our energies. Tentatively, I would be looking to present 2019-20 district goals to the board, if not by the second September meeting, by the October meeting, and then you'll get another progress update from me in late January or early February.